He lives in a big, noisy and crowded city with a busy rhythm of life. But he is interested in another world. A world with no fuss, where a person lives preserving the heritage of his ancestors and the precepts of nature. Konstantin Kuksin, an ethnographer, traveler, a current member of the Russian Geographical Society, as well as the founder and director of the Museum of Nomadic Culture in Moscow. Nomads of the Great Steppe are his favorite topic, and he can talk about it for hours.
Про кочевую цивилизацию.
About the nomadic civilization that, like a patchwork quilt, covers our planet. We will talk about all of this on the sacred land of Ulitau. Welcome to Ulitau. Konstantin Kuksin in the new season of Dala project.
Неспокойно нынче в степи.
The steppe is restless. The sun has disappeared behind the clouds, the wind is howling, and the Ulitau mountains are towering above us as a black, ominous silhouette. Everything happens for a reason, because today we will talk about a difficult, sinister, bleak, cruel, but great era. We will talk about the turn of the 12th and 13th centuries, the time when Genghis Khan and his descendants lived. Today, we will talk about his eldest son, Jochi, with writer and historian Mukhtar Bakituli.
Историк, писатель. Доброе утро, Мухтар.
Доброе утро.
Повороты колеса истории часто...
The turns of the wheel of history are often unpredictable. Temujin took Borte as his wife. He thought that he could finally live in peace and would not have to hide from his enemies. But fate decided otherwise. The Merkid tribe, trying to get back at Temujin's father, Yasugei, for kidnapping one of their women, attacked their camp and kidnapped future Genghis Khan's young wife. An old woman named Kagchin, their maid, whom Temujin's mother Oilun once took in and gave shelter, helped the family with the housework. She tried to save Borte, take her away, but the cart broke down and the Merkids found the two women. They say Borte was pregnant at that time. There is evidence both proving and disproving this version. Mukhtar, what do you think happened in that distant 12th century?
Мухтар, как вы думаете, что происходило в том далеком 12 веке?
Когда меркиты и ташауты напали на стойбище Темуджина, то Борте...
When the Merkids attacked Temujin's camp, Borte was already pregnant. She said to him, "If I will run, I might lose your firstborn. You will be able to find yourself another wife. Perhaps she will give birth to other children for you, but you will not be able to get back your brothers." She advised to take all the horses, take all his brothers, and retreat. Therefore, it is not correct to condemn Temujin and say that he displayed cowardice and fled. Why? Because according to the Turkic way of life, sisters and brothers were always more precious. The wife and children were put in the second place, because you indeed cannot get your brothers and sisters back. According to Rashid al-Din, when Borte was captured, she was handed over to Togrul Khan, and according to the secret history of the Mongols, they captured and handed Borte over to Sheluan Baluan from Merkid tribe.
То есть Тогрул хану. А по тайной генеалогии монголов передали Меркиту Шелуэн Балуану.
So, to the brother of the guy from whom Yasugei stole Oilun.
Да. То есть это как бы в отместку. И, соответственно...
Yes, this was sort of a revenge. which is why there were suspicions that Jochi may be the son of Shelwan Balwan. But Rashid al-Din writes that they handed Borte over to Togrul Khan and said, "We brought you a gift. Take her as a wife." Then Togrul replied, "But this is the daughter-in-law of Yesugei, whom I respect, who did a lot for me. Therefore I think of Temujin as my son, and by extension, Borte is my daughter-in-law. That is, she is an honored guest. She sent people to Temujin and returned Borte back. This happened within 3 months, as Rashid al-Din writes. Jochi was born on the road. That's why they called him Jochi, or traveler.
Это произошло за 3 месяца. В течение примерно 3 месяцев, как Рашид al-Din пишет. И Jochi родился в пути. Поэтому и прозвали его Jochi или же путник.
Does Jochi mean traveler in Kazakh too?
Это Жолши.
Jochi is a modern pronunciation of the name. In the 13th century, it may have sounded like Chuchi.
По-старомонгольски Jochi значит гость. Как в современном монгольском Jochi.
In Old Mongolian, Jochi means guest. It took a form of Jochi in the modern Mongolian. Gossipers used this to say that a guest came to Temujin, meaning it was not his child. This is completely wrong. Many modern peoples, even the peoples of the far north, call children guests, guests from another world. So it's a totally normal name for the firstborn, and it does not hint in any way that Jochi was not the son of Temujin. Whether he really was the son of Temujin or not is not important to me. What matters is how Temujin behaved when Borte returned and when his first child was born. He did not say a word. No one has ever heard him say that Borte didn't get pregnant by him and that Jochi was not his son. Back then, there were no genetic analysis, no paternity tests. Temujin behaved like a man, so to speak. This makes me respect him.
Это вызывает искреннее уважение.
Genghis Khan never doubted that this was his eldest son. When Jochi was 15 years old, when pulling an arrow, he would always throw his head back in the same way Temujin did as a kid. Let's push the wheel of history a little forward and talk about what Jochi became like when he grew up. Describe what Jochi looked like so that our viewers at home could imagine.
Черепа Jochi и других чингизидов, которые были...
The skulls of Jochi and other descendants of Genghis Khan, which were found behind Jochi Khan's mausoleum, were studied by Wolf Ginsburg, a Soviet anthropologist specializing on Asia. He noted that their heads were big. Jochi was of average height, as Alkay Margulan describes him, and of strong build, just like any nomad who lived in harsh climatic conditions and had been preparing for wars since childhood.
В суровых климатических условиях и с детства готовится к военному делу.
Speaking of the preparation for war, who prepared Jochi, his father or some kind of a mentor?
Когда был образован Улус и Jochi хану были выделены 4000, Чингисхан...
When the Ulus was formed and Jochi was given 4,000 warriors, Genghis Khan made 4 Noyans, military leaders responsible for the life of Jochi Khan. These 4 Noyans helped and advised him. But this was when Jochi was getting political power. There is not much said about Jochi's childhood in the secret history of the Mongols.
Это прерывистые такие упоминания о Jochi есть в тайной генеалогии монголов.
Well, the war was going on. There was no time to write down the stories. The formative years of a young man in the 12th, 13th centuries always coincide with wars. What was Jochi's first military operation?
Покорение лесных народов. Это примерно 1208 год.
It was the conquest of the forest peoples around 1208. The forest peoples were Buryats, Kyrgyz, and other peoples. They surrendered to Jochi without a fight. When he returned home after a successful campaign, Genghis Khan threw his son a feast. Joshi's authority as a military leader who could conduct successful campaigns was growing.
Jochi рос на глазах как военачальника, который мог уже вот совершать такие удачные походы.
Jochi gained the respect of his father and other warriors. But how did the brothers treat him? Was there envy of the elder's successes? Did anyone imply that he was not the son of Genghis Khan?
Ну, в источниках об УГД и Тулуе ничего не говорится по отношению к Jochi.
The sources say nothing about Tului and Ogedei. Chagatai was his main rival since childhood. According to many sources, Chagatai is the second son, after Jochi. He always used the rumors of Jochi being the so-called Merkid's bastard in his quest for power.
Она всегда преследовала, и Чагатай всегда это использовал в те или иные моменты.
Chagatai, in fact, took after his father Genghis Khan in terms of character.
Да. По решительности, жестокости, да, бесцеремонности по отношению к своему врагу. Поэтому есть один такой момент.
Yes, their decisiveness, cruelty and ruthlessness towards their enemy was similar. There was a story which is described in the secret history of the Mongols and Altin Shejire. Genghis Khan gave the floor to Jochi when discussing issues. He is my eldest son. Let him start. But Chagatai spoke first and said, "Why should we listen to the Merkid bastard?" Jochi sprung up from his seat, grabbed Chagatai and said, "If I lose to you in battle, I will cut off my own hand." This rivalry boded well to the second wife of Genghis Khan, Kulan Khatun, a Merkit, who was conspiring with Chagatai against Jochi. She wanted to take care of her son Kelegei or Kulkan. The name differs depending on the sources. She wanted to secure for him the right of succession to the throne.
В разных источниках, она хотела обеспечить для него право престола наследия.
Believing that she was the favorite wife of Genghis Khan, she took advantage of this. But still, despite the disagreement in the family, Genghis Khan singled out Jochi. He considered him to be his right hand and entrusted the most important endeavors to Jochi Khan.
Одним из походов загадочных является это поход на меркитов, которые укрылись у тургайских кипчаков на побережье реки Иргиз. И вот здесь о географической...
One of the mysterious campaigns is the campaign against the Merkids, who took refuge with the Turgai Kipchaks on the coast of the Irgiz River. The geographical location causes the debate. Why would Jochi ride for 2,500 kilometers from the upper reaches of the Irtis River to defeat the remnants of the Merkids? Modern-day researchers believe that Jochi was already stationed in Ulitau, which is closer to Deshti Kipchak. Medieval sources say that he also subjugated the neighboring tribes. The fact that this happened on the Irgiz River is unambiguously confirmed by all the chroniclers who touch on this topic. This battle took place in 1216. 1-2 men of Jochi, which is a unit of army measurement, meaning 10,000 strong army, defeated the Merkids.
Летописцы, которые затрагивают данную тему. Эта битва произошла в 1216 году, и
When Jochi's army was feasting, they stumbled upon the troops of Muhammad II, the Shah of Khwarezm, and his 40,000 strong army. Muhammad II of Khwarezm at that time went on a campaign against the Kipchaks to make them resume the payment of tribute. The 10,000 strong army of Jochi fought with the 40,000 strong army of Muhammad Khwarezm Shah. In this battle, which lasted from morning to evening, Khwarezm Shah was almost taken prisoner, and he was surprised by the courage and the tactics of military operations that the Mongols used. This, according to the chroniclers, is the main reason why Khwarezm Shah did not lead into the open field the 450,000 strong army that he had available, but made a decision.
Является главной причиной того, что Хорезм-Шах не вывел в открытое поле 450-тысячные войска, которое было его в наличии, а принял решение отдельно
to defend the cities, which was the end of Khwarezm.
Когда Чингисхан уже пришел с войском на...
When Genghis Khan came with an army to Khwarezm, he decided that Ogedei and Chagatai should besiege Otirar. Genghis Khan, together with Tolui, went towards Bukhara, and Jochi was instructed to take those cities that were located from the middle to the lower reaches of the Sirdarya River, that is, the cities near the Sirdarya.
От среднего течения до низовьев Сырдарьи, то есть присырдаринские все города.
I have been to the ruins of Otirar, and what they have done to the city is terrible. The city was called an evil city and completely destroyed. Jochi and Genghis Khan had different views on state governance and the prospects for the state development. Therefore, we can say that Genghis Khan was a destroyer and Jochi was a creator. Can you say if Jochi could disobey his father's direct order or not? Is there any information about what happened?
То, что Jochi не выполнял приказ отца, но это только на закате его жизни. About
Jochi not following orders? Only at the end of his life, when he was only learning to become a statesman? No. He always followed all orders. After Ogedei and Chagatai captured Otirar, they reunited with Jochi near Urgench. They had a fight there. Chagatai insisted on the capture of Urgench, and Jochi insisted that this be done without destruction or casualties, as few human casualties as possible, and the city be saved for the future functioning of the state economy. He looked at it from the point of view of modern market economy. The stronger the entrepreneur, the more workers there are, the more powerful the state and the economic base will be.
И чем больше будет рабочих рук, тем будет мощнее государство и, соответственно, и экономическая база.
We started talking about the military campaigns of Jochi, skipping the most important one, without which probably Genghis Khan's empire would not have existed. A campaign against China. The Chinese made their famous 30-episode film about Genghis Khan. A pretty good, detailed film, in my opinion. There, of course, they show Jochi's participation in the capture of Beijing and other Chinese cities. But still, this is rather the period of apprenticeship and the evolution of Jochi as a commander.
Сегодня в степи не утихает ветер.
The wind does not subside in the steppe, and this wind pushes the wheel of history. The wheel of history spins as before. It spun in the life of Jochi Khan as well. How did it happen that Jochi, who was the right hand of Genghis Khan, lost his father's trust at the end of his life? What led to these events?
В конце своей жизни. Что привело к этим событиям?
После завоевания государства Хорезм-Шахов и взятия Персии, Чингисхан, согласно Говердовскому...
After the conquest of Khwarezm and the capture of Persia, Genghis Khan returned to his homeland. according to Yuri Gaberdovsky, in the foothills of Ulitau, according to other sources, to Kulan-Basi between Sayram and Siganak. He called for a gathering. Genghis Khan held a grudge against his sons because after the capture of all those cities, they did not send a share of trophies to Genghis Khan. They divided everything among themselves. In the foothills of Ulitau or Kulan-Basi, in 1223-1224, a large gathering took place, and Jochi was ordered to bring kulans and antelopes to organize a royal hunt. Jochi, along with kulans, goited gazelles and antelopes, brought 20,000 white horses as a gift to his father. Of course, it pleased Genghis Khan and strengthened the trusting relationship. The father forgave Jochi. At the gathering, Genghis Khan divided the conquered lands into 4 uluses, divided them among his heirs, the 4 sons of the main wife, Borte.
Всех завоеванных земель среди своих наследников. И таким образом на этом Курултае появились 4 улуса среди 4 сыновей от старшей жены Борте.
Let's remind the audience of these uluses. Which of the sons received what? These were the ulus of Jochi, the ulus of Chagatai, the ulus of Ogedei, and the original Mongol land itself, the ulus of Tolui. As per nomadic traditions, his father's native ulus goes to the youngest son. In modern terms, Tolui received Mongolia, Ogedei China, Chagatai Khwarezm, and Jochi the territory of present-day Kazakhstan, Russia and Europe. The ulus of Jochi was not finished. These lands were not completely conquered. The prospective lands would stretch to the sea, to the ocean, to all of Europe. Why is it important to establish that Genghis Khan and Jochi have made up? Some sources hint that Genghis Khan ordered the death of his eldest son. I've never believed this, and I think that the events of the gathering of 1223 prove that the father and son reconciled. And of course, Genghis Khan could not have given this inhuman order.
О том, что отец и сын помирились, и, конечно же, Чингисхан не мог отдать этот бесчеловечный приказ.
Тизенгаузен, основываясь, ссылаясь на Утимис Ходжу, пишет о том, что когда Jochi достиг Валаята Кипчак, то есть отправился в Валаят Кипчак, он достиг гор Улуктак.
Waldemar von Tiesenhausen, referring to Otemis Koja, writes that Jochi went to the Dashti Kipchak and reached the Uluktak mountains. And from that moment, from around 1224, he established his state there. He stopped here, in Ulitau. All the former Oghuz fortifications were inherited by his large family, state apparatus, viziers, advisors and others. It was all located in the Ulitau region. Therefore, the entire Ulitau should be considered as the headquarters of Jochi Khan. As medieval chroniclers write, Jochi fell in love with this steppe so much, its water, fresh air, that he had no desire to continue Western campaigns. Although Genghis Khan set ambitious tasks at Kulan-Basi gathering in 1223.
Его воду, свежий воздух, что не было у него никакого желания вообще дальше продолжать западные походы. Хотя уже на Кулан-Басы в 1223 году Чингисхан дал вот эти самые перспективные задачи, что необходимо...
Да, на Курултае...
The gathering not only divided the territory of the great Mongol Empire, but also set specific goals.
Конкретные цели западного похода.
Because the battle of the Kalka River showed the alliance of Russian princes and the Kipchaks. It was a powerful force that could later harm the empire. From this point of view, you can understand Genghis Khan. He was right, and Jochi was thinking as the owner of this land, which he fell in love with. He managed to subjugate the Kipchak youth. He believed that the relationship with them will provide for the security of the Ulus. Genghis Khan thought that it is necessary to convene a gathering regarding the Western campaigns.
Итак, ветер истории.
So the wind of history brought change, and the relationship between Jochi Khan and his father Genghis Khan became tense at the end of Jochi's life. But we will talk about how this conflict resolved, about versions of Jochi Khan's death in one of the following episodes.
Гибели Жоши Хана мы поговорим в одной из следующих передач.